how to create a freeze frame, how to add frame hold, and how to insert a frame hold segment are the additional clips editing techniques that you will learn in this lecture. They will help you create better videos, and you will want to use them to start creating your reel in the next section. So let's start. Let's see how it works. You are now in section 7 and part 1. Please double click on the sequence. When it opens, you will notice that I've taken the 3 clips, put them in the sequence, and treat them to my liking. You can do better than me if you like. Let's take the first clip. It's a very nice introduction clip. You could use it as a still frame to introduce the biker here and maybe write his name or something else, or even write the title of the video itself. To create a freeze frame from this clip, meaning to make this clip a single frame, you can still trim it later on. All you have to do is just to right click and you will go to frame hold options. Notice here frame hold options, and you hold on, and it's asking you what frame you want to hold on. In our case here, we want to hold on the frame that is on the playhead. You have a sequence time code, which is exactly now what we have done. This is the same frame. And of course, you could have a time code and in point and out point. Let's choose the playhead. And when you click OK, all your clip has become just this still frame. This is pretty cool. And of course, you can write text here or do whatever you want. You can also export this frame as an image and then bring it back into your project. To do that, if you are on the Mac, you press Shift E. If you are on Windows, you press Control Shift E. And here it's saying export frame. Cool. Let's give it a nice name. Let's say intro biker. And you can choose the format. PNG is okay. And also you can choose which folder you want to save it in. I will say this folder is okay. And import into project, meaning after it has created the PNG, it will bring it back within your project. Let's click OK and see what happens. File already exists. I have been trying. You can say yes. And here it is. It has imported into our project. You can click and drag and drop it in this section. Now you have a still image that you can put in your project. Of course, the default is 5 seconds. You can come and trim it the way you would like. Let me delete this one now. And if you come back to your frame here, you can also trim it or extend it the way you would like, and it is still a still. Okay, fine. Let's move on to the next one. For example, here you want the sign of the forest to stop, and then maybe you want to write some text or you want to speak introducing another subject. So how do you do that? You want to play the video, and when it gets to this point, you want to stop it just like I've done now. To do that, it's pretty easy. You right click, you go to add frame hold. So actually you are going to hold everything that is in front of the playhead. If you select, click, notice what's happening here. I'll go back to the beginning. If you play, of course, after the point where you have selected add frame hold, it will freeze completely. Now what happens if after you stop sometime you want to continue the video? Let's take the third example here. That's pretty interesting. The guy jumps and look at it, it's very beautiful. Let's say you want to stop here and introduce the subject, for example. The way to do it now is even easier. You just right click and you say insert frame hold segment. So it's gonna insert a segment that has a hold frame. Here you are. Notice what's happening. I press backslash to zoom in. And now the biker comes very high, it freezes over here and then continues the video. Cool. So you can come over here, take your text tool and say, for example, extreme biking. And of course, with your selection tool, you can now adjust it the way you would like. Here you are, just here. And then press Shift D and add a dissolve. We trim the transitions. Here you are, for example, something like this. And then we play. Here it appears and then it disappears. If it were me, I would do something like this and like this. Here you are. It's very beautiful. And you can jump. And then, cool. Let me show you a simple trick here. You might want to use it later on. If you select all these clips, you can press Ctrl C to copy them. And let's go to our extreme biking version 2. Just at the beginning here, you want to insert what you have copied. You want to perform an insert paste. It is not Control V, is Control Shift V. Notice that I cannot target here the source. This is not a patching. This is an insert paste. So you have to target your target tracks. Of course, you can come to Edit and you go to Paste Insert or Control Shift V. If you click, here you are. Notice what's happened. It's very nice now. It stops. Extreme biking. It continues. Then the guys start talking. That's cool. We are not going to keep it there, but just to show you what you can do. Now this will be pretty interesting. Now let's go back to our sequence here, and you have learned how to create a frame hold and how to create a nod frame hold and how to create an insert frame hold segment. So please start using them, and it's gonna be very interesting. It will just make your video much better. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you in the next lecture.